Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 Filipino show in the Midwest. I'm Girly Pascual. Welcome to our show. Today we have all the top stories from the Philippines. We also have what's happening in our own Filipino-American community of Chicago. We have interesting interviews led by our very own executive producer, Miss Veronica Layton. We have Bridget Cotero Carino. All these are coming up and more after word from our sponsors. Please stay with us.
In the face of global...
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. flew to Singapore on his 66th birthday and lost no time in courting investors from Southeast Asia's lone first world country. Among the fruits he dangled, the Philippines' 110 million consumers, an English-speaking workforce, and optimistic growth numbers.
Our growth story is underpinned by a strong domestic demand and increasing fixed capital investment as a result of upbeat domestic activity and improved business confidence. In the face of global economic volatility, the Philippines has demonstrated remarkable resilience. We have sustained consistent GDP growth, bolstered by prudent fiscal management and monetary policy. Despite high inflation and global market instability, our economy grew by 7.6% in 2022, the fastest rate of growth recorded by our country since 1976, coincidentally in the time of my father.
In August, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas said that the Philippines' GDP could drop below the 6 to 7% target due to global headwinds and the impact of a string of interest rate hikes. But the National Economic and Development Authority had countered the central bank's projection, saying that the Philippines can still reach the lower range of 6 to 7% if the economy could grow by at least 6.6% in the second half of 2023. Marcos Jr. adds the country is looking to welcome investors, especially in the manufacturing and renewable energy sectors.
The contribution of services as against manufacturing was a little lopsided, i.e. 60%, 40%.
To attract more manufacturing companies, Marcos shares the Philippines has been trying to increase the energy supply and highlights how the country now allows a 100% foreign ownership of renewable energy projects.
Have to move the mix of fossil fuels to renewables. And so that's why we continue to court investment. We are also actively promoting investment in smart and sustainable agriculture. By investing in our nation, you invest in a greener, more sustainable, and more equitable world.
The president says opportunities also await investors in the agricultural sector as the Philippines pushes to boost its yield to veer away from the importation of food commodities.
This was one of the hardest lessons that we had to learn. We cannot now continue to depend on importation. In the past years, it became the easy way out. The pandemic showed us that this was not a wise choice. The aspiration, once again, is that we are able to provide sufficient supply of food at prices that people can afford. And that's still, we are not there yet, but we have made many important steps to start that. We are trying to put the value chain, especially of agriculture, we're trying to put that value chain together from all the way from R&D all the way to retail to the market.
The president also assures investors that the Philippine Sovereign Fund was designed to tame the Philippines' high debt-to-GDP ratio, which he says is pegged at 62 to 63%. Marcos Jr.'s guarantee, the Maharlika Fund will not be subject to the whims of politicians.
But it will be run as a fund. It is not run by the government. It is run by professional fund managers. When the politicians get involved, then the decisions are no longer purely financial in nature. That causes failure, I think.
The Filipino leader also tries to ease the business community's geopolitical worries without directly mentioning the Philippines' territorial row with China, the world's second-largest economy.
Geopolitical stability and regional cooperation are cornerstones of our foreign policy. Our nation's resilience and ability to adapt are not just stories, they are lessons that we bring to the table. Lessons that we share with partners who are invested in our shared future. I invite each one of you to consider the Philippines as a strategic partner in your journey.
The palace earlier confirmed that aside from his appearance at the Milken Institute's 2023 Asia Summit, the president is expected to stay in Singapore until the weekend because he was invited by Singapore's Prime Minister to watch the F1 Grand Prix finals in Southeast Asia's most expensive city.
Consumers may have to face a heavier burden in the coming holiday season. Based on a survey conducted on more than 100 chief executive officers in the Philippines, nearly half said they plan to increase the prices of their products or services in the next 12 months. That means inflation may again go up in the next months, as well as higher prices for the holiday food staples.
Malaking probability yon is a law of supply and demand. So pagka ang produkto in demand, merong imbalance sa supply, magkakaroon talaga yan ng price adjustment. Wala tayong magagawa doon every year. Makikita natin yung mga Noche Buena products, umakit talaga yung presyo kasi mataas yung demand.
A consulting firm says those who will be hard hit are minimum wage earners and the poor.
Yun ang nakakalungkot na katotohanan. Kung minimum wage earner ka, baka hindi ka na makabili ng maayos na Noche Buena. So sabi nga nila magtitipid. Pero siguro wala tayong sa ngayon, wala talaga tayong immediate solution diyan. Ang talagang long-term solution diyan is yung tinatawag nating economic prosperity.
Among the reasons cited why prices are likely to go up are more expensive raw materials, higher labor costs and power rates, as well as steeper fuel prices. Supermarket owners say they will just reflect the increases to be imposed by manufacturers.
I guess tiis tayong lahat, di ba? Wala naman tayong magagawa. Hindi lang naman mamamayan or mamimili ang nagtitiis eh. Yung mga kumpanyang nagpa-manufacture at nagpo-produce ng mga bilihin, no? Tiis rin sila. Unity is.
In a statement, the Trade Department says government continues to monitor prices of basic goods, and so far, no price uptick is recorded, more so for products with suggested retail prices. The DTI has also confirmed that many manufacturers have asked for price increases, but none has been approved so far.
Since the Philippine government opened the bidding process to rehabilitate the country's main gateway, Transportation Assistant Secretary Leonel de Velez said 4 parties have already expressed interest to participate.
So far, there are 4 entities that have purchased the bidding documents. The Manila International Airport Consortium, that's number 1. There was San Miguel Corporation, also purchased the bidding documents, and GMR. The 4th one, I have to confirm which one, because I just got the information.
Earlier this year, the Manila International Airport Consortium, which is composed of 6 Philippine conglomerates and its US-based partner, also made an unsolicited proposal to rehabilitate NAIA with a 25-year concession. But the government opted for a solicited deal with a concession period of 15 years with a possible 10-year extension anchored on performance. De Velez said they aim to award the 170.6 billion peso contract by this year. NAIA has long been dubbed as one of the worst airports in the world, but calls to fix it up grew louder following at least 3 major power outages since January. According to the Public-Private Partnership Center, both foreign and local parties are invited to bid for the contract to rehabilitate, operate, and maintain NAIA. The project will cover all facilities of the airport, including its runways, 4 terminals, and associated facilities. It aims to increase the current annual airport capacity to 62 million from the current 35 million passengers, as well as increase air traffic movement. But some workers under the Airport Employees Union oppose the move. While they are not against the NAIA upgrade, they fear that its privatization could cost them their jobs.
Kami ba ay malilay off? Kami ba ay mariretens? Ang aming pong mga empleyado ay nagkakaroon po ng pagkabalisa kasi marami po sa amin ng mga nagpapaaral ng mga anak. Talaga pong ang reklamo ay valid, meron po talaga mga pagkukulang, pero naniniwala po kami na hindi po privatization ang sagot sa mga problema.
The union also warned of higher airport service fees once the project is done. But Develas said they're looking to offset these charges by making room for more commercial spaces.
One of the things that you may notice in our airports is that the lack of leasable spaces, or at least commercial areas, food and beverage options. These are usually what helps offset the increases in passenger service charge.
Develas also stressed the importance of developing other airports in the Philippines to boost the tourism industry.
One of our key drivers of the economy is tourism. We can't just develop our tourism sector in a bubble. We have to consider that there are competing countries, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam. These countries are investing in their airports.
Apart from NAIA, the DOTR has also sought the private sector's help in developing regional airports like the Puerto Princesa International Airport in Palawan and the Calibo International Airport, which is a gateway to the paradise island of Boracay.
Stocks tumbled across Asia Wednesday as oil prices continued to climb, exerting more inflationary pressure, and investors gearing up for America's August inflation print that's expected to show an uptick in headline, but core continuing to fade. Philippine shares not spared, underperforming Asian peers, in fact, with the index tumbling back to 61.49. Regina Capital sees the market falling, dragged by mostly external factors.
Philippine equities declined steeply, largely because of the anticipation of the higher U.S. inflation reading later tonight, and consensus is at 3.6% on the back of higher oil prices amid the tighter supply outlook. And aside from this, the drop in the PSEI could also be a spillover from the decline in the U.S. market as tech stocks were under pressure last session.
In corporate stories, more fundraising activities for Ramon Ang and Manny Villar. San Miguel Corporation disclosed its $65 billion shelf registration and public offering of Series 2 preferred shares, while the board of Vistaland and Lifescapes has approved the application with the SEC for the registration of up to 35 billion pesos in shelf bonds to be issued in tranches within 3 years. The initial tranche covers up to 10 billion in fixed-rate bonds. In other news, Globe Telecom ramping up its 5G wireless technology, firing up 356 new 5G sites as of the end of June, resulting in outdoor coverage of 97.4% in Metro Manila. Globe notes it has logged 5.2 million 5G devices on its network as of June. 5G offers quicker data transfer rates, expansive reach, and steadier connectivity.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 901-245-4874. That's 901-245-4874. 901-245-4874. That's 901-245-4874.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
It's more fun in the Philippines. Via Times, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. Via Times for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. Via Times has very interesting columnists. You name it, Via Times has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call Via Times at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to the Veronica segment of this show. Today, I have a very exciting young personality who will be talking to us about, oh my God, a very interesting topic. And many of you out there, I think, you still remember what we're going to be talking about. And help me welcome Miss Mylene Agana Howe Richardson. And Mylene is the author of a very interesting book. And she'll be in that book. This is her debut book, too. Her first time to write a book. And it is a memoir about her mom and her grandma. And many of us are still very familiar with these two people that she wrote about. And you remember Tessie Agana? I'm one of her fans too. And Tessie Agana was really a very popular child star. She was known as Philippines' Little Sweetheart, and also the Shirley Temple of the Philippine cinema. Remember? All right. Welcome, Mylene, to our show. And Mylene is one of the 9 children of Tessie and Rodolfo Howe. And these people, this couple, were really very, very active in our community, mostly in the 80s and 90s. And welcome to this very, very pretty, a child of Tessie and Rudy. And she's one of the siblings among 9 children. Wow, 9 children.
9 children. Salamat po, Tita Veronica. I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much. And that beautiful introduction of my mother, you said it the best. She was the Shirley Temple of the Philippines. And that's just, it's still such a surreal thing to say, but that's what everybody has said about her. And I just loved writing this book. And it actually wasn't supposed to be a book. It wasn't supposed to be the way the book ended up to be. It actually was just a passion project that started when my son was 1 year old. And when he was 1 back in 2009, I decided that, family is so important in our in everybody's world, right? Everybody has their own family history, their own culture, whether it's Filipino culture, whether it's Mexican culture, Spanish culture, but everybody has those family values. And I wanted him to see it, to hear it, not from me, because, I'm just the mother. I wanted him to hear the unique stories of his grandmother, Tessie Agana, and his great-grandmother, Linda Estrella, my grandmother, in their own voices. So what I started doing is I bought a digital recorder, and we would drive from Chicago. My son and I, Chapman, would drive from Chicago and go to Northwest Indiana and have these amazing conversations that we recorded. Chapman was just running around the room, playing with my grandmothers. I started interviewing my grandmother first, started playing with her cell phone, and little trinkets, rosaries around her room while we would have these interviews. And it still kind of chokes me up thinking about it. Those are the memories that I want him. I took many pictures, and I want him to know that was those moments are going to be so special for him. And that's really what was the impetus of this book, is just writing these stories down for him in their voices, literally, figuratively in their voices.
All
And I
right.
loved every minute of it.
That's a great story for a start, and a beautiful legacy that you've done.
Thank you.
Not only for the family but also for the community. Um, okay, so you started this project since when your child was very
One. Yes, he was one. So that was 2009. So, he's going to be 16. He'll be 16 in February.
Wow, wow.
I have a 16-year-old. It's crazy.
I can really imagine the pride and joy of knowing that he came from a very great family from the Philippines. Okay, you mentioned in our brief interview personally that you went home to the Philippines with your family.
Yes.
Has your mom your mom is still alive, right?
Yes, she is. She is. She lives 5 minutes away from us.
Anna is still alive. Your grandma is gone, right?
She
And
passed away in 2012. Yes.
is gone. But how is your mom doing in the first place?
She's doing great. She's 81 years old now, and she turned 81 this May, and she's living with my sister, and she's overall fairly healthy for an 81-year-old. She has developed dementia since 2017, so it has been she has had a decline in the dementia over the course of the last few years. But what is so wonderful is she may not remember my name right when I walk through that door. She'll eventually remember it when I sing a song to her, and she'll say, "Oh yes, you're my lead." She'll remember. But when she sings, she still sings with gusto. She sings, oh, it's so cute. I mean, maybe it's not as strong as she once was, but music it lives and breathes within her. It's her beat. I always play 1950s music and old Filipino songs whenever I'm watching her and I'm with her, and she just comes to life. But she does have dementia, but she's doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. I did actually let her know that I was speaking with you, and she said to say hello. She remembered you. Via times. She remembered you. She remembered you before she remembered my name that particular day. So it was wonderful.
Oh my God, I was just telling some friends that I don't know what's in me, but many of these older people who are suffering from dementia, when you mention my name, they remember me. I don't know what's in there.
You were such a part of Via Times, and you, Tita Veronica, were such a part of our lives, like you said, in the 80s and the 90s. And she remembers. She remembers. So.
Have you tried showing her your book?
Oh yes, yes. That was.
What was their reaction?
So when I finally, you see the book right here. When I gave her the book, and she looked at the book, and she remembers that this is her. And she hugged the book.
Oh my
it's
God.
the most beautiful thing. She hugged the book and she said, "This is me. This is me." She couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe it. And I've read every chapter to her, every revision. She has been a part of my step. She's been a part of me every step of the way of this whole process.
God.
So I think she has read every revision.
Oh my goodness, I'm touched. Does she live with you?
She lives with my sister. My sister lives and her family live 5 minutes away. That was my requirement when we moved from Chicago to Arizona. I told my husband, I don't care where we are in Arizona, it just has to be 5 minutes away from my sister and my mom. And we're literally 4 minutes and 55 seconds. Sorry?
Your oldest sister?
This is my older sister. I have 2 sisters and 6 brothers. And I'm number 6, and the sister that lives here is number 5.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's neat. Very close family.
Very, very close
How about
family.
the other siblings? Are they all scattered all over?
Oh my, yes, we are. I'll just go in order. It's probably the easiest for me to remember. So I'm one of 9. Our oldest, Marita, who you said you have met, and we have met before in many, previous occasions. Marita's in Southern California with her family. My second brother, Radmar, is the second oldest. Radmar is a priest, and he is also in Southern California. He's a Jesuit priest. Number 3, Roger, is in Dallas, Texas. He used to live here in Arizona when I moved here, but he got promoted and moved to Seattle, and then got promoted again to Dallas. Let's see, that's 3. Number 4 is Roderick. Roderick is still in Chicago area. He lives in South Elgin. So he's our our home base, if you would. He's the only one that's still back in Illinois.
And I met. Is he also in entertainment?
Roderick is in the hotel industry.
Oh, okay. Okay. Any of the siblings in entertainment business?
Well, my brother Radmar the priest used to be, and my other brother, younger brother, Rodney, they both used to act in Hollywood. So those 2 are the only ones that kind of dipped their toes into it. It was intimidating. For me personally, it would have been intimidating. So we all kind of had our own paths. But then I still have other siblings that are all over the place. So we have also 4 or 5. Michelle here in Arizona.
Yeah,
I'm here in Arizona.
Yeah.
My brother Jun is right after me. He's number 7. He's also in Southern California. So there's 3 in Southern California. My number 8, Rodney, is in Japan. So he married a lovely, lovely Japanese lady, and my sister-in-law, Noriko, and they have a little one in Japan. And then my youngest brother, Riddell, he's in Northern California. So we're all kind of spread everywhere.
Very interesting. I know you just had a reunion, right? You just celebrated a reunion, family reunion.
We did. We just had a very big reunion for my dad's side of the family, the Howe side. It was for my grandfather, so my dad's father, back in Illinois. And it was so wonderful. We haven't been back since 2019 with the pandemic. So my entire family went, all 4 of us. My sister, basically there were 6 of the 9 kids that were able to attend with our families, but then our extended first cousins, extended family, they were there. I think we had a total of maybe 83 total family members, all within this weekend. And it was as I wrote in my blog, it was so good for the soul. Some of the family members we haven't seen in quite a while. We had a couple that were from the Philippines.
Terrific.
It was amazing. It was just amazing.
Really huge family, huh?
Big family. Yes.
You went home to the Philippines.
Yes.
Some of your siblings last year to receive the FAMA's Achievement Award for your mom. Can you please tell us about that award and what does FAMAS stand for?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I have the award right here. If you can see, it's the Filipino Academy of Movie Arts and Sciences. And it's equivalent to the American Oscars, if you will. And so she received the Lifetime Achievement Award. And it was so unbelievable to be able to, first of all, take her there live at this special occasion with the red carpet and everything. And we had about 13 family members also from the United States, some of my siblings and their children and spouse of my brother-in-law, my husband went. And it was just so remarkable to be able to not only be there, but to actually see the fans still love my mom. She was 80 years old at the time. She was signing autographs. It was amazing. I didn't even know she knew how to sign her name still, to be completely frank. So she was just so alive and she was in her element for sure when she was around the people that, her fans, our family relatives there, the Vera Perez family and Agana families, all of the family. It was a big family reunion. So we were there for almost 2 weeks. And it was remarkable. It was remarkable to be able to not only see the fans still have her, she's still writing her own story, is what I said. I thought I was done with her story. And when I concluded my book, last year happened and I had to write one more chapter because this woman she is still this remarkable woman that that we all love and grew up with. So it was incredible. It was incredible. It was one of those experiences that I think my children will never forget. They're waiting for the next time. They want us to go back out there. And my family out there is wondering when we can go out there. So hopefully soon we can maybe do a book tour out in the Philippines. We'll see.
Terrific, Miss Eileen, Mylene, sorry. Mylene Agana How Richardson. It's a long one.
It's a long one.
She is, fairly new writer, author of a memoir. And I wonder if there will be a follow-up in this memoir.
We shall see. We shall see. I have many, I could write about every single one of my family members if they wanted me to, because there's always drama in any family, right? But then you have 9 kids, there's always something. But right now we're just going to revel in Mama Tessie and just honor her.
Sure. There is always a start in a way. And there will be follow-ups too most of the time. Okay. All right, Mylene. Thank you so much for gracing our show today, and I really appreciate it. And I hope the best for you. Congratulations as a new writer or author of the book entitled, the complete title of the book is actually The Legend of Tessie Agana, beloved child star of the Philippines, right? Is
That's
that
correct.
the complete title?
That is, the complete book is The Legend of Tessie Agana, Beloved Child Star of the Philippines, An Intimate Portrait of My Mother.
All right. Portrait of My Mother. Wow. I love it. I love the title.
Salamat po. Salamat.
I can't wait to receive a copy.
Of course.
It is going to be released when?
September 20th. Wednesday, September 20th.
And you will be here on the week?
I will be there on Friday, September 22nd. Will be the first event at the Rizal Center. And then collaborating with Sama Sama Project, the lovely, lovely Luella, on Sunday, September 24th. And we will be at the Davenport Piano Bar in Chicago as well. So more details on the website.
You're going to be with Lou Cabalona.
Yes.
Lou used to be our Cprtv and Via.
She has let me know that. What a small world, right? A small world in Chicago.
World. I'll be seeing her this coming Sunday for her cabaret.
Tell her I said hello.
Mylene, thank you so much. This is really a great interview, and good luck and congratulations. At maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, Mylene.
Bye-bye, Tita Veronica. Thank you so much. Salamat po.
Salamat.
Do you need to get your hands on some extra money right now? Maybe $25,000 or more? If you're a homeowner, now is the perfect time to get cash out. While homes in many neighborhoods like yours have gone up in value, you can use the money for anything. It's yours. You can buy an investment property, pay for college, pay off higher interest debt, or make home improvements. A cash out refinance is the perfect solution to get the cash you need. If you need $25,000, $50,000, or even $100,000, now's the time. Home values are up, and so is your equity. We offer you a way to use it. No need to sell your home or use your savings. Call New American Funding now and speak to a cash out refi specialist and see how much cash out you can get.
Call New American Funding at 855-332-3929. That's 855-332-3929. Call 855-332-3929.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica segment of the show. Today, I have a very exciting and interesting personality, and she was on our show before, and her name is and face is really quite familiar to our viewing audience. Her name is, help me welcome, the Honorable Cook County Commissioner Josina Morita. Josina is the first female Asian American in the board of Cook County. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The first was a Filipino, Joseph Texan, in the 70s.
Great. All right. Okay, welcome to our show.
Thank
you. First things first, you've done some great work in your position there, and one of them was last February. You approved the 13th. There was a resolution that was approved, which you authored. Okay, and for the Cook County. Can you please tell our viewing audience what that resolution is all about?
So there's two that I did earlier this year. One is around environmental justice. Cook County had never passed an environmental justice policy. The second largest county in the country. We sit on the Great Lakes, and environmental justice was really founded here in Chicago. And so we passed a resolution committing Cook County to pass its first environmental justice policy by the end of next year. And so we'll be working with community organizations across Cook County over the next year to develop that first policy. The second resolution that I passed was specifically as the first Asian American woman on the Cook County board. I learned in my first few months on the board that there are parts of Cook County government that still do not collect data on Asian Americans, on us. They say African American, Latino, white, and then there's other. And so we held over 20 hours of hearings with every department, all of the separately electeds across Cook County government to talk about why they don't collect data on Asian Americans and how we can fix that. In addition, we talked about how are we making sure that Asian American communities, aside from being counted, are also included and engaged in Cook County government through language access. You did part of your introduction in Tagalog. We know that there are dozens of Asian American languages. There's over 100 different languages spoken across the 13th Cook County Board District. And making sure that government is providing information, education, resources, and services in those languages, so that our communities who oftentimes have not had direct access, have not had accurate information, are getting what we need in order to be successful and safe here in Cook County. So those are my first two resolutions at the Cook County Board. I'm really proud of both of them. And they really kind of fit what I talked about when I was here last time about running to make sure that Cook County is more equitable, more accessible, and more inclusive than it ever has been before.
All right, very good. Okay, and recently you instituted a plastic bag ban in Evanston. What is this all about? Can you please tell our viewing audience?
So I wasn't the one who instituted it. This Evanston City Council passed its own plastic bag ban. And talking to residents, many of them in Evanston, which is a big part of our district, didn't know about it. They didn't know that the ban was coming into effect. They didn't know what it meant, what stores it applied to, what kind of plastic bags it applied to. So in partnership with State Senator Laura Fine, State Senators Jennifer Gong Gershowitz and Robin Gable, we worked together to be able to hand out over 1,000 insulated, reusable bags to residents across Evanston. They're environmentally friendly, but they also are something that people can use over and over and over again in their shopping in Evanston, to make sure that they aren't going to go to a shopping, not be able to get a bag, and not know how to get their groceries home. So that was something we did in partnership across different levels of government to make sure Evanston residents, one, knew about the new policy, but also had a nice gift from us that they can use throughout the year.
Wow. All right. So you around that time, when did you hold this event?
August 1st, I believe. Yeah, it was August 1st.
Really very recently.
Yeah, because that's when the plastic ban went into effect.
And how did your constituents react to that?
Oh, they were so appreciative. I think, people in general want to be more environmentally friendly, but they also want it to be easy for them, right? Everybody has lots of things going on in their lives. And so they can't keep track of every policy that every, layer of government is instituting. They just want to be able to go grocery shopping, be good to the environment, be good to support local businesses. And so they were really appreciative of the bags and the information. And so we were happy to do it.
You were working for the Chicago Metropolitan Water District before the big as a commissioner, right?
Yes.
You moved from there to your current position right now. So far, how do you like your new job versus the old one?
I mean, I feel so fortunate to have been able to do both in my time. When I was at Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, I was elected in 2016. I was the first Asian American elected to a countywide board. And so it was really important for me to be able to bring that voice to that board and be able to make the improvements that we made there. But it was tough to be a countywide elected official. You represent 5 million people. And so now being here on the county board and having a district of about 350,000 people, I'm able to really build relationships with communities. It's a very diverse district. It's the highest percentage Asian district in Cook County, a huge Middle Eastern North African MENA population, a very large Orthodox Jewish population, immigrants and refugees from around the world. Like I said, over 100 languages spoken across the district. So I think that it's nice to be able to have a district that really represents a lot of the issues and values that are important to me, and to be able to represent them in a I think in certain ways a more meaningful way, because you can actually get to know people and really represent this district in a way that I think is really special.
Great, terrific. As a young wife and mother of two currently, how do you manage your time? How do you
I don't. No, I love it. I think we're living in a time where young moms of young children are starting to run for office. When I was at Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, I was the first commissioner in 130 years to have a baby while in office, and passed our first maternity leave policy for commissioners. I'm proud, since I've been on the county board, we've also expanded our parental leave policy to 12 weeks, which I think is really important for moms. And so, I think it's a time where you see more working moms in general, including in government. And I think it's really important to have people who are experiencing that at the table in government, to be able to say, these are the challenges of being a working mom. These are the challenges, of having young children and trying to govern and trying to lead at the same time. And so I think it's been a really great experience to be able to represent young moms. I have moms come up to me all the time and say, thank you for being our voice. And just recognizing, they say, thank you for, making sure that there's daycare at your public meetings. Thank you for having events that are family friendly, where I can bring my kids, because I want them to be able to bring their kids, because I want to be able to bring my kids. We're hosting a Touch a Truck event for kids in Morton Grove, with the Morton Grove municipality and State Senator Villablom and Representative Mike Kelly next Wednesday from 5 to 7. People can come bring their kids to come see a fire truck, come see a police truck. And it's a very family friendly event. So we really try to make sure that we're being as inclusive as possible, not just for Asian Americans or immigrant groups or people who don't speak English, but also people with disabilities, people who have kids, all of the families and people who live in our district. We want to make sure that they feel comfortable and welcome.
What are your plans, future plans, including current plans, of course, in making an impact in our community as an Asian American political leader?
You know, I've been proud of the work that I've been able to do in my official capacity, you know, passing policies. For the first time this year in the county budget, our goal is to have resources for language access for our commissioners so we can make sure that the events and materials and that we have in district are translated. That'll be the first time that we do that in Cook County, to have commissioners have a budget specifically for translation. We're continuing to work with different parts of county government to make sure that things are translated. All the websites are translated. All of the public information is translated. And then also, in addition to my kind of official capacity, I've been able to use my platform as an elected official. You know, I was a commissioner at the Water Reclamation District, which people would say, well, what does that have to do with Asian American issues? But I was able to, while I was there, help start the Asian American Caucus. And I was the founding chair of the Asian American Caucus that has now grown from 0 to 17 Asian American elected officials at county, state, government levels. And so being able to use my platform to be able to increase representation for all of us. We say our goal is to have Asian Americans at every table in government, to make sure that our voices are at every table, not just one. And so being able to do that and be able to champion different projects. We're working on an Asian American Arts and Cultural Center, potentially in Evanston. It would be the first Pan-Asian center, arts and culture center in the Midwest. It's a resource that I think about my children who are, going to be 6th and 7th generation Chinese and Japanese American. I'm 5th and 6th generation Chinese and Japanese American. They're also multiracial. We call them Blasian. I think about this next generation. Where are they going to feel at home? Where are they going to have a place to explore their identity and their culture in a way that may be different than the way that my generation or the previous generation did? And so I think creating spaces and leaving kind of these legacies behind so that the next generation can know their history, but also create their future. And so that's really exciting.
Great. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for all the great work that you've been doing. And okay, one really good tip for the before we sign off, for our viewing Asian women out there and who might be aspiring to be in your position in the future,
is to do it. We are, as Asian Americans, so often we are taught to not speak up. We are taught to not be in government or in leadership positions, but we are leaders. We're leaders in our communities. We're leaders in our families, and our voice is very much needed at every table. And so if you look to, the Asian American Caucus, we are a majority women caucus. We have State Representative Teresa Ma, Jennifer Gong-Gershowitz, Sharon Chung down in Bloomington, Janet Yang Rohr out in the western suburbs, Lenny Mana Hoppenworth, our first Filipino alderperson in the city of Chicago. We are all here for you. And so we want to represent you and be your voice. We also want to support you in thinking about running or thinking about working in government. So please always do reach out to us. My website is josinamorita.org. But all of us, I think, would love to, anybody who's interested, to sit down and have coffee and encourage you and support you.
Commissioner, well, I forgot to ask you, what is your Asian ethnicity?
Yeah, so I'm very unusual. I am a 6th generation Chinese American. My family came in the 1850s, and 5th generation Japanese American. My family came in the 1890s. So I'm very unusual in being 5th and 6th generation, but I'm Chinese and Japanese American.
All right, great, terrific. We're really proud to have you in our group. And thank you so much for gracing our show today. And I hope you, I wish you the best. Congratulations for all the things that you've been doing. And hopefully I could really see you in the very near future with more things that you've done, talking about of all those things that you've done for our community.
Thank you. And thank you for always lifting up our voices, Veronica.
Thank you so much and have a good day. At maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, Commissioner. Commissioner Josina Morita. I like your name, Josina Morita.
Some people think I'm Filipino.
It rhymes, right? Okay, and you have a good day today. Bye.
Thank you.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po.
Good afternoon, this is Bridget Carino-Quadra bringing you this week's local news from our community. Mayor Brandon Johnson announced that Smita N. Shah has been appointed co-chair of the Workforce Innovation Board. The WIB is a federally mandated body that oversees the investment of the Chicago and Cook County region's annual Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act allocation from the U.S. Department of Labor, totaling more than $72 million for fiscal year 23 to 24. The WIB is comprised of 20 public and private sector leaders in business, organized labor, economic development, education, and community-based organizations appointed by the Mayor of Chicago and the Cook County Board President. The Department of the Interior today announced $5 million from President Biden's Investing in America agenda to support the restoration of bison population and grassland ecosystems in tribal communities. The funding will support tribally led initiatives to strengthen bison conservation and expansion, improved management of existing herds, and ecosystem restoration efforts in native grassland habitats. These investments advance the Biden-Harris administration's America the Beautiful initiative. The funding advances the department's new Grasslands Keystone initiative, unveiled as part of a restoration and resilience framework that is guiding $2 billion in investments from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and Inflation Reduction Act to restore lands and waters and advance climate resilience. The American bison is inextricably intertwined with indigenous culture, grassland ecology, and American history. Illinois Secretary of State Alexi Giannoulias will testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee about his landmark first-in-the-nation legislation designed to prevent book bans and protect First Amendment rights. Giannoulias initiated Bill 2789, setting a nationwide precedent in the fight to combat censorship of books and resources. The bill was signed into law on June 12, 2023, as Public Act 103-100. Public Act 103-100 allows Giannoulias' office to provide grant funding to libraries that adhere to the American Library Association's Library Bill of Rights, which states that reading materials should not be removed or restricted because of partisan or personal disapproval. Libraries can also issue a statement prohibiting the practice of banning books or resources. Libraries that do not adhere to the law will be ineligible for state grants from Giannoulias' office. Giannoulias' law banning book bans in Illinois illuminates a path for other states to follow in an effort to turn the tide on the scourge of censorship sweeping the nation. September is the start of National Preparedness Month, where the Illinois Emergency Management Agency and Office of Homeland Security and our county emergency managers are highlighting the importance of all readiness efforts across the state. A disaster preparedness kit and immediate access to the best resources to current safety information is so vital, especially during an emergency, said Illinois Emergency Management Agency and Office of Homeland Security Director Alicia Tate Nadeau. Additionally, we must continue to strengthen our communities, including older adults, and inform their caregivers ahead of any disasters. According to a survey by the small business network Alignable, Illinois is the hardest hit state in the country, with 61% of local businesses earning half or less of their monthly pre-pandemic revenues in August. That is a 24% increase from July. The only other states with a percentage higher than 60% are Massachusetts and Minnesota. 4 states that experience a drop in the percentage of small businesses with falling revenues include Georgia, Colorado, Ohio, and Michigan. The nationwide number is up to 50%, the most significant surge in revenue problems all year. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Bridget. See you next time.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
And that's our show for today. Thank you all for watching Chicago Philippine Reports TV. We hope you will stay safe and enjoying this day with your family and friends. I'm Maria Girly Pascual. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsubaybay, and we'll see you back here next week.
It's hard to know.